Chesney Hawkes interview and album review time. Yes, Chesney Hawkes has got a brand new album out in 2025 called Living Arrows. And I was lucky enough to interview Chesney Hawkes. We've got a full review of the album coming up right after this interview that I did recently with Chesney Hawkes. Let's do this. So now 2025 with an absolutely fantastic new album. I've really been enjoying listening to this with Living Arrows. It is Chesney Hawkes. Hi, Chesney, you all right?
Hi, Chris. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm very well. I tell you what, it genuinely is. It's a really, really good sounding album. It sounds like you've had fun doing it. I mean, we'll go into the videos in a while as well, but it does sound like you've just had so much fun putting it together. Would that be a fair analogy?
Yeah, absolutely. I went into this whole project just to have fun. It was all for me, really, and I did it with my good friend Jake Gosling, who happens to be a very A-list producer. You know, he's worked with Ed Sheeran and Sam Smith, Paloma Faith, Lady Gaga, whatever. But he's an old friend of mine, and we just decided to in between his big sessions that he had to just throw an album together, you know. And we just every time we got together, we just had the best time. And we brought in friends. My old mate Nick Kershaw came in and wrote a couple of songs with us. My brother came in, played some drums. We had, friends doing little bits and pieces here and there, and it was just we just had a gas. We really did. We had a really good time, and I hope that kind of shows, on the record.
I think it does. I mean, it must have been a brilliant feeling as well when Radio 2 made it album of the week, and you're probably hearing that at home and thinking, that's great, isn't it?
Well, funny enough, I didn't even know that happened because I was in the Big Brother house when that happened. So I found out afterwards. But yeah, I mean, that is an absolute career highlight getting, album of the week on Radio 2. It's phenomenal.
And obviously, you touched on Nick Kershaw. We'll go back to that in a minute. But the album starts off with a brilliant track, "Nobody Like You." Not only is it catchy, but I think like a lot of the tracks on the album, there's a brilliant narrative. I think you're a brilliant storyteller, and you just kind of compels you when you're listening to it, when you're listening to the songs.
Yeah, that's kind of I wanted. I wanted to paint pictures, so that when you listen to it, you can see what I'm talking about. That song, funnily enough, was the very first song that we wrote for this album. And when I said I got together with Jake, the beginning of it was Jake we were having a beer, and Jake was like, "Let's get together for a day and just do a song and see what happens." And so we literally got together. It was a nice sunny day, I'll never forget, and just two of us there, and I had a guitar and we wrote that song in like 20 minutes. It's just all done, just came out, and it was so fun. We went in the studio, he put down a beat, and we recorded it, and it was like almost all done within, a couple of hours. And he turned to me at that point and was like, "Well, that was fun. I think we're gonna have to do an album now." you know?
But that sounds like you say so fresh. And I mean, well, look at Please Please Me. That was all done. That was all recorded in a day. So do you know what? It
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
shows you. It doesn't matter how long, does it? It's
No.
the when did the so you say obviously it's been 13 years since you've released an album. When did you decide that this when you were going to do this? Then was it like you say after moments like that with Jake that you thought I can do this? I can put a full thing together. What was the kind of the trigger, if you like?
Well, we decided to make an album. I didn't really have any idea what I was going to do with it, to be quite honest with you, because I've put records out over the years, and I could have just put it out independently. Jake is very much in the business, if you know what I mean, and he encouraged me to do a little bit more with this record, to actually, you know, find a home for it and find the right people to promote and all that kind of stuff. So I waited until I was back in the UK. I've been in LA for the last 12 years, and I wanted to be on English soil here so that I was here to be able to do all the promotion that I possibly could. And so I just put all my heart and soul into it, and just went for it. And actually, it really has paid off because, I've had three bona fide radio hits from this album. And then record of the week on Radio 2. I can't really ask for much more than that. And people seem to be really responding to the album. So it's very exciting to know that, because I very purposefully gave up any kind of feelings towards what was going to happen with this record.
Yeah.
I didn't have any preconceptions. I it's not that I didn't care if it didn't do well. I wasn't going to worry if it didn't, you know, if it wasn't a hit, if you know what I mean. So I did it for myself. We did it for the fun. I was enjoying making the record. I've enjoyed promoting the record. I've enjoyed going out playing it live. Whatever happens after that, great. You know.
Oh, well, yeah, you just touched on what I was going to ask next because you've been on a tour in March and April, I'm guessing, playing several songs from the album, and that must have been
Yeah.
great to play those live.
Yeah.
During your tour, several places around the UK doing those.
Yeah. And I also went around Europe with James Blunt. We played like arenas all over Europe, which was really fun. And then my own headline tour as well. So yeah, it was amazing. And of course, all the people that have been with me since the beginning, they all came. But I also had like what I felt like a new audience because of Radio 2 and because it's all kind of been kicking off a little bit for me. So it's been lovely selling out these shows. And I'm going to take the band out on the road festivals. It's starting tomorrow. Actually, is my first big festival of the year, and it's going to be great fun. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm going to play some of the old stuff, but it's nice to get these new songs out there. And when I play, songs like "Get a Hold of Yourself," which was the first single from this album, it's so nice to see people out there singing along to it. You know, it's amazing to me. I'm a little bit on cloud nine because of that.
No, but I think, I'd like you say, I think that it's brilliant, and we'll touch on Nick Kershaw because you say obviously he got involved with the album. I know he's a good friend. How did it come about? Because obviously it's not the first time that Nick's written for you, but how did you get him involved?
Well, Nick is an old mate, and I've known him for 35 years, and every time I've made an album in those years, I've brought Nick in to do a couple of songs,
Yeah.
um, and sometimes more than that. You know, there was one album where it was literally just me and him, really, um, and I've had songs on his albums over the years, which is amazing to me because I was such a fan when I was a kid. It was just a natural thing. I just gave him a call. I was like, "Can I come over and write a song with you?" And he's like, "Yeah, all right." So I brought an idea, and that was it. We just got together and wrote. It's simple as that, really. And as I said before, it was just fun getting together with friends and to make music.
Not only do the songs sound good, but I think as well, obviously in the kind of the era of YouTube and things, I think the videos work. I mean, there's a couple of videos I think particularly work. The You've got the one, well, let's just say we see you in a new light. Tell us a little bit more.
Well, we'd Get a Hold of Yourself. That song is about freedom of self-expression, and you know, you get to a certain age, like I am in my 50s now, and I feel this freedom, because I don't worry about what people think of what I say, what I do. I'm having fun. I want to be that person that people look at and think, well, he's having fun in his 50s. Maybe I can have more fun in my 50s. So when it came to doing that a video, I wanted to do something that was a little bit kind of reflected what I'm talking about here, and so I saw the film Saltburn, and the lead character at the end of the film does this scene, which is incredible, where he just dances around totally naked, free in this stately home. And I was like, oh God, I think I might have to do something like that. I brought the idea to my team, and they're like, "You're mad. You're crazy. You're a 53-year-old bloke with a dad bod. What are you talking about?" So I was like, no, I think I want to do it, So I pushed for it and ended up, you know, finding myself in a stately mansion, totally stark bollock naked, and prancing around.
But the video just works. But then in another kind of contrasting video, you in one you're just sat alone, you monochrome in a chair, and that's just as effective.
Yeah.
It took so many different styles to go, with the album, isn't there?
Well, I think each video had to reflect what I was singing about, what I'm talking about, and that particular song you're talking about is a song called "Loud." That
Brilliant song.
is, thank you, mate, thank you. It's about how to find connections with those that we've lost. Um, and I lost my best friend earlier this year, and I I wanted to do something for him in a way, and that's where that video came from. I just wanted to show where I was and just be nakedly emotional, and that's what I did. So all I did was I just sat with him in my head, because it was literally when I made that video, it was 3 days before he passed.
And there's a lovely caption at the end of that video as well, which it kind of dedicated to your best friend as well, we should say.
Yeah,
The other song that I think stood out for me as well. This might not be radio friendly even talking about it, but 13, it felt like just really genuine and raw and kind of just makes you feel kind of like, for you telling the story, I thought it was just,
yeah.
it kind of almost like just shocked me, and lyrically it just stayed with me. I think it was a really nice song, though.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that song was a tough one because of because of the subject matter.
Yes.
And actually, that was one of the ones I wrote with Nick. And basically, I was having a glass of red wine with him, and I opened up and told him that story.
Yeah.
And you know, uh, we were just about to go in the studio, and as we were on the way there, he was like, "We're gonna have to write about that thing you told me last night."
Oh
Was
my
that
God.
that's it, So he sat me in in the back of the studio, and I just wrote, and it just kind of it was almost like vomiting those lyrics. I just came out, and Nick and I just put that one together. Yeah.
That must have been like some kind of like release though, after after the stop buttons and everything's stopped on that record. That must have been a really strange feeling when that track was done though.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was cathartic. It was like a form of therapy. It helped that I was with somebody that I love, and that I can feel comfortable opening up and being vulnerable with. Um, but if I didn't go there, it would still be inside there. So for me, as a form of therapy, it was almost it had to be written.
It is a brilliant track. One definitely to listen to. I am absolutely saying that. But let's move on to Big Brother, because obviously you say you missed out on hearing it was album of the week. Now, 19 days. Was that right, Chesney? What was it? Was
Yeah.
it the experience anything like you imagined it would be?
You know what? I mean, I had some preconceptions about what it might be like, and I was told by a couple of people certain things. It can be intense, it can be boring at times because you're there 24 hours a day, uh, and you might find some tricky characters, and you have to deal with certain situations and things like that. But I will be honest. I actually quite enjoyed it. There's certain things about it, like one, they put me in with some good people. So I was very grateful of that. Really nice people, and I think I've made friends there. Um, Two, they weren't out to get us. It wasn't about psychological warfare like it has been, I think, in years gone by. I think now it's with ITV, they're a little bit more kind of family friendly. They even said it, we're not here to make you look stupid or anything like that. I guess that the stress of it is you don't really know how it's being portrayed. You don't know what narratives they're following, what's in the edit, and you're just living. And I just went in there and I thought, you know what, the only way to really do this properly is to just be myself, and I think that is the only way to get away with uh, get through something like this. You got to be authentic. You've got to be yourself. If you're a dick, it's going to show up. You can't hide that. But I didn't play a game. I wasn't kind of trying to win or anything like that. I was just living. I was just with these people, trying to get on with them and trying to have some fun. And that's all I did.
Is it on your mind though? Like, I don't know, I'd be conscious because obviously there's the edit version, but there's also the live
kind of stream or it might be delayed, to cut swearing out and things like that. But this, was that on your mind thinking, people can be tuning in on, ITVX at any time and seeing what we're doing? Is that kind of going through your mind consciously as
It
well?
does sometimes. A lot of the time, you kind of let that go, and
Yeah.
you don't forget it. You don't ever forget that you're on a TV show, because there's
Mm.
cameras in every single corner, and you've always got your microphone on, and you're always reminded by Big Brother of certain things. So you never really forget it, but you do relax into it. And I had many a conversation, deep, vulnerable conversations with quite a few of the people in there, to be honest with you. Um, it's like I don't think that I doctored the way that I would, normally act in everyday life. It is an odd situation, and it is intense, and it can get to you sometimes, and you miss your family and friends. But I love the fact that you put your phone down for 3 weeks. I mean, you got no media, no connection with the outside world, no phone, no pen and paper, no instruments, no nothing. And the phone thing was amazing. I have to say, I feel like I've been a little bit of a phone addict over the last 10 years or so. And when I when I put it down for 3 weeks and didn't even think about it, it's like putting life down in a way. It opened up so much time. And then when I got out of the house, my wife gave me my phone back, and it was like a hot potato. I was like, "Ugh." I threw it back in her bag for 3 days. I couldn't face it. And nowadays I'm like less kind of like on it all the time. And every time it beeps, I'm like, oh, just leave it. And I'm seriously considering, having a day a week where I don't even pick it up.
Oh, do you know what? I think that's good advice. It is. It's always, they're always there, aren't they? They are. They're always there. Um,
Yeah.
so obviously, 2025, it's coming up to festival season. Is there a particular, festival you're looking forward to? Where can people see you? What's your plans for the rest of the year?
So all of my gigs are on chesneyhawkes.com if anyone is interested. I've got a whole load of festivals. Got one tomorrow actually. It's going to be a fun one with Sister Sledge and Billy Ocean.
That's
It's
a
going to be
great
great.
lineup.
I know, brilliant, right? So that's in kind of Bristol way. It's called Good Times. But there's so many of those kind of ones. I'm playing with. I did a festival the other day, Foodies Festival, and I got up on stage with Top Loader.
Oh,
Did,
yeah, absolutely.
did
Yeah.
yeah, and I like we did the one and only, and then I stayed on and did She's So Lovely with them, and so it's moments like that are just brilliant. I like the bespoke, smaller festivals up and down the country. There's loads of them, and I tend to do quite a lot of those ones actually, and so those are really fun. They're all kind of like community based. You get the local pub providing the booze, and you got local restaurants, doing a lot of pop ups in the festival. And those kind of things, festivals I love so much. But then also I love the big ones that are, kind of like the retro festivals are really fun, where people just leave their inhibitions at the door and just, turn up dressed as, in all their 80s gear and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I mean, I love festival season. I'm so happy we're back here again now. I've got 3 of them this weekend.
I dare I ask, I'm hoping the answer is yeah. Is there a list, is there some songs already in the pipeline to follow on from, kind of, Living Arrows? Is there going to be do you think a follow-up quite soon?
Well, I don't know about like quite soon, but I'm starting to get there now, and I've got a few songs started, and yeah, it's in the pipeline for sure. But I don't think it's going to be like this year or anything, but it'll be here soon enough.
But the thing is, like you say, you've done it on your terms and you've enjoyed it. And there doesn't have to be a time scale, does it? And that's the
No,
best
not
thing
really.
about
And
it.
I want to keep the same ethos and the same
Yeah.
energy behind this album as I have with Living Arrows, and just kind of have fun with it and write with the people, work with the people that I love, and just the energy will shine through the music, hopefully.
It's no, well, I think it comes across. Chesney, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with the festival season and the rest of 2025. Thank you for coming on.
No, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
So let's go through Living Arrows track by track. It's 39 minutes in duration, 12 tracks on the album. It's Chesney Hawkes' first album since 2012, and that was called Real Life Love. So I think the first half of the album is really, really strong. There's some great pop tracks on there. You can easily see why it was Radio 2's album of the week as well earlier this year. So it starts with Nobody Like You, a great opener. There's a great story to the track. It's got a great tune, it's really catchy, and a lot of the tracks have got stories and kind of messages throughout the songs, if you like. Chesney is such a great storyteller, and this is a great opener. We've got then Live Forever, another great tune, a very, very catchy chorus, and it sounds really fresh. It's one of my favourites of the whole album. We then got track 3, which is 13, which you'll hear me talking to Chesney about during the interview. Listen carefully to this one. It's a hard listen, especially the kind of the subject matter, and you can there's articles and there's interviews which go into further detail about that. But again, it's a great tune. Nick Kershaw helped Chesney write this. But then we've got number 4, Loud, another great tune. Again, the chorus just absolutely lifts it. Get a Hold of Yourself, track 5, the one where Chesney strips off in the video. But the song, let alone the video, the song is brilliant. Then we've got track 6, Do You Ever Think of Me? A change in pace, I'd say, from here onwards for the rest of the album. But again, you have to kind of listen to the lyrics and the narrative as the song goes on. And it's one of them that you appreciate the more that you listen to it. Track 7, The Ballad of Benny and Alice, another great song. I do like this one. It reminds me of probably reminds me of a Billy Joel song, kind of scenes from an Italian restaurant. Probably, kind of that was my kind of comparison, but very, very good. I love this song. I do like this one. It reminds me of probably with the narrative. It reminds me of the Billy Joel song "Scenes from an Italian Restaurant," which I love. So that's why I like this one. We then got track 8, "The Meaning of This." It's a soft number. It gets better to it every time you listen to it, though, I found. We then got track 9, "Surprise Yourself." Love's There When You Need It, Radio Silence. But we finish on an acoustic touch at the end with I Don't Want to Be You, which again, the album goes off in all different directions. You think that the album's just going to be kind of one style. The album just goes off in different directions. If you think that the album is going to be just one style, it is absolutely not. It's fresh. There's different styles, there's different paces, and there's different stories along the way. Absolutely brilliant album, and I really, really hope that Chesney doesn't leave it 13 years before we have a new album. So that's it from me here on Talking Music. Massive thanks to Chesney Hawkes for a wonderful interview. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. New videos every Saturday night. And I'll be back soon with more music reviews. Thank you. Bye-bye.